Hey guys, it's Mathematics YT. Today we are going to solve a geometric problem, which is this. Given, I have a pole, and then given the difference and the midpoint of the radius A and B are 2 and 28 respectively, where A is bigger than B, which has stated in the diagram above. Now, they now the question is they want you to find the volume of pole in terms of pi and the radius A and B, and I want to make more interesting, so I'm going to solve A first, then solve B. Instead we solve B first, then solve A, because if we solve B first, then it's easy because we can find the radius A and B, then we can find the volume, which in terms of pi. But I want to make something more challenging, so I'm going to solve A first, then solve B. And as always, if you guys are interested in this question, please pause a while and then try it for yourself. Let's start solving question A. But before we solving this question A, I want you to guys see something first. Let's say we have similar situation like this, and then what they are going to do is I want you guys to find the volume, and then which is like really easy. So the volume of this pole is the volume of cylinder with the outer radius, which is R2, minus the volume of inner cylinder with the radius R1. So the volume of this pole is pi R2 square h minus pi R1 square h. Now we are going to simplify by factorize this pi and h. So I will get pi h times R2 square minus R1 square. Now look carefully. When we have two terms that is in square and they have subtraction, which means I can factorize. Since a square minus b square is equal to a minus b times a plus b, so we break down with the same expression like this. So I will get pi h times r2 minus r1 times r2 plus r1. Now if you recall this R2 minus R1, we recall something called delta, because delta or something means the difference between of that thing. So let's say R2 minus R1 is equal to delta of R. So substitute this expression to here, so I will get pi h times delta R times R2 plus R1. So how are we going to settle this R2 plus R1? Let's recall something that is related with two terms but in plus. What kind of suitable thing I can use? Midpoint. I can use the formula of midpoint. So to do that, we have to divide 2, so it will get this term to the midpoint. But don't forget to counter by multiply by 2, because recall the midpoint formula. I have a and b, two numbers, and then to find the midpoint or average, so I so I will get a plus b over 2. So to make this same situation, I divide by 2, but don't forget I need to times 2, so the whole term of here will be equal. And then I will address this term r2 plus r1 over 2, which is equal to r, which represents like the normal radius. So h is equal to 2 pi h r delta r. So this is the volume of a pole where r is equal to midpoint between two radius, two radii, while delta r means difference between two radii. So by this same situation, for solving question A, by using the formula that we did just now, 2 pi h r delta r, so volume of the pole is equal to 2 pi h r delta r. So substitute the whole thing from here. So the volume of this thing is 2 times pi times 12 times 2, 28, because r is equal to 28 because they say the midpoint, times 2, which will get us 1344 pi, because the answer must in terms of pi. So this is the answer, the volume of the pole. Now let's solve question B. Now they want you to find the radius of A and B. Well, we have one sentence that has revealed all the characteristics of the radius A and B, which is these sentences. The difference between these two radii is 2, and the midpoint between these two radii is 28. So what I can do is difference where A is bigger than B. Now, since 2 is positive term, so I can conclude that A minus B is equal to 2. Well, because the bigger term minus the smaller term, of course can get a positive term as the result. So A minus B is equal to 2. This is the first equation that we can get. And the midpoint between the radius A and B is 28. So recall the midpoint formula. When you have two things, two numbers, the midpoint of it, you just sum it up and then divide by 2. So I will get A plus B over 2 is equal to 28, which will make that A plus B is equal to 56. That is equation number 2. And then A minus B is equal to 2, and then A plus B is equal to 28, which means I can just, oh no, 56, it's 56, I'm sorry guys. So A plus B is equal to 56, then which means it is simultaneous linear equation. And then what I'm going to do is, since we have this minus B plus B here, so we can just use elimination method by the equation 1 plus equation 2. So 2A, A plus A is 2A, negative B plus B is 0, is equal to 56 plus 2, which is 58, where A is equal to 29. And then we substitute to this, and no, we substitute to this term. So 29 plus B is equal to 56. then B is equal to 56 minus 29, which B is equal to 27. So radius A is 29 centimeter and B is 27 centimeter. So now guys, let's say we do it vice versa, which is we start solving question B and then we solve question A, which means since we have found these two radius, so we can just directly find the volume of the pole, which is pi times 29 square times 12 minus pi times 27 square times 12, which you also can get 1344 pi, which means that this formula, which is the simplified version of this, it works, it's working. So I hope you guys figure out how I find the volume of a pole, and when this kind of situation appears, so when they mention about the pole, when they mention about the difference and the midpoint between the two radius, we can just use this formula. If you guys want to solve more problems or solve more math problems like this, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys next time in another video.